We're
Cheers.
recording
Hey,
live.
we are recording now. Hey, how you all going? It's Jai, that Aussie metal guy here with Crank and with that metal station. And today I'm having a chat with Jeremy, vocalist for Suicide for a King, whose latest single, The Worst in Us, came out 29th of January. Jeremy, cheers for joining me, man.
Thanks for receiving, man. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm second Canadian band I've got to chat to this morning, so it's very, very cool, man. First off, for
Excellent.
the uninitiated, can you just tell us who are Suicide for a King?
Suicide for a King. Who is Suicide for a King? That's a good question. That sometimes it's a question that I have a hard time to respond. But Suicide for a King is just a bunch of people that didn't know each other before, that was united by one thing, one passion, and it is music. Suicide for a King is a band, metalcore band, that gives a lot of that where you can find a lot of variety in the song in the band. We like to evolve to make our song give a travel to the listener. We love to evolve our sound. We never love to make something something identical twice. We always love to evolve, to give something more to the listeners, and to give a great to give great energy in our show and a good laugh on our platform, on our social media. So I think that would resume Suicide for a King if I did it well.
Yeah, you certainly did do it well. And the Ocean Within EP that came out in 2019, that was some tracks that was recorded before, and you come in and laid down the vocals, kind of went over them again with your vocals as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Sorry.
Yeah, what was that process like? Yeah, what was that process like when you come onto the band and they're like, you're vocalist now? Was that a cool thing to come back and go over these tracks, and the band are like, now we've got Jeremy on board, let's kind of go back and redo these tracks again?
When I came on the band, there were already show planned for the band. So when I came for I had to wrote the song pretty fast because there were big shows that were planned. So I was like in a rush. I was like, oh shit, I have to wrote 5 songs in 2-3 weeks. So it has been a hard time for me, especially when I just met the guys. We barely know each other, so they had to put a lot of trust in me because the I don't want it or not, the show was coming, and it was a big show, like for in front of 500 or 600 people, and I don't want to mess up and give the bad image of the band. So I had to really really fasten up the song, but we did it, and that was my first show with them.
What was the show like? You gotta tell me, what was the show like?
And for our first performance, I was pretty surprised because I didn't, because we're still at the time we were still a local band, and I was like, okay, the probably is gonna be a smaller show because I was always I had experience and from the past in other local bands. I wasn't expecting a big show on a major venue, but I just got onto the stage. We did what we had to do. We got great performance. We got great energy. We just go with the flow, and it came out well.
Yeah, and then when 2020 hit, you had the Repent Reimagined, and you probably would have been like, dude, let's get this album out. And you probably would have been really keen to get into some live performances. Then we had fucking what happened to the world with the COVID. It would have kind of, but it was good just to turn that energy and you're going, we're still going to work, because I've chatted to a few bands like this that are going, yeah, we've had what we've happened, but still it's also a perfect time to work as well and try and get material out and get it across as many years as possible, because we're all sitting at home at the moment devouring art. I know my form of art is music. Music is life to me, so I'm always devouring new bands. And when I come across a new band like Suicide for a King, I'm like, okay, then this is the single. I've got to go back now and check out the whole back catalogue.
For people might don't know it, but we never worked as hard that during the quarantine. Like, we never stopped writing music. We wrote so much song during the quarantine. We record song. We didn't have summertime. Like, we worked really hard on making new songs. Actually, we wrote their last single, "The Worst in Us," in quarantine mode.
Yeah,
Like
what was that like? What was that
I
writing in
was
quarantine mode?
or my guitar player is Raphael, who's the lead guitar. He composed his part at his house. He was sending me the track. I was doing vocal at my house. I was recording myself. After that, I was sending all of what I've done with with Raphael's track to my rhythm guitar, and he passes to my bass player and my drummer. We actually never jammed the song together. We
Yeah.
just learned our part, recording together, and we released our single because we can't jam over here in Canada, so we have to adapt ourselves.
Yeah, it's like that in a lot of places of the world. It's probably the one time in a long time that everyone has kind of been in the same kind of boat together in the world, you know. And a lot of musicians like yourself have been at home going, well, we still want to work, we still want to be creative. We've got to work out ways to do it through Zoom and different meetings and Skype and whatever else have you.
Yeah, we have to reinvent ourselves, and for the first time, it was still a little bit we were still don't know how we're gonna work out, but it ended up pretty well. And actually, it was easy. It was faster to work on something because when we finish one, we can just go back to the other one. I know it sucked because we can practice with the rest of the band, but it's still we make it. We did make it.
It's also another way of being creative too, I suppose. After we come out the end of this as a band, you can be like, well, you know, sometimes you can have going forward, it's another way of doing things as well. If you all can't be in the same jam space together, I think it's going to help bands to grow and evolve, and the ones that are doing it are going to go better in that.
Well, we're still using the those kind of process. Actually, those kind of recording sessions for when I just with myself at my home give me opportunities to try things that probably I wouldn't have tried. Like I try some harmonies with vocals, and I just make like a couple of vocals right there, right down, and never doing the same note with each one of the others of the track. Just to try song, I try pitches different. I try different technique to give a little more texture for the song, to more adapt myself to the song that I'm doing with them. Because right now, like I said before, we really love evolving our sound. So right now we're working on two songs that are not completely on the same branches of metalcore. Like we're doing a more spacey song, we're doing a more aggressive song, so that's not going to be the same vocal for each song. They'll give me the opportunity to work on some vocal technique and some different approach, and I love that.
Yeah, because it is a fair bit of work as a metalcore singer, because you've got some great harmonies, and then you got the heavies and the deeps and the lows and that, and you combine them all together. It must be a fair bit of work vocally too, as well. People don't realize that.
Yeah, honestly, for any vocalist out there that wants just to get better, the first recommendation I could say beside warming up and drink water and stuff like that is understanding the process, understanding what you're doing. If you understand your vocal, you're gonna understand how to do a technique, and that's the basic. Honestly, if you don't understand, because my guitar player understand their guitar, they know every scale, they know where the notes are. I mean, if you want to be this professionally, you have to understand your instrument, and and for vocalists, it's even harder because you can see it. You can see it, so you have to feel it. You have to understand what you're doing, and if you know those kind of knowledge, you're gonna be a lot better. I can assure you that.
Yeah, it makes you a better vocalist. Can we talk about the Worst in Us? Can you tell me a little bit about lyrically about that, what that track means for you?
For myself, how can I say it? Sometimes, like I think, like everybody, I get angry, and like everybody get angry. But when you're at this kind of situation, there's a path that create himself with so much ease, with easier decision that you can take, but never leads to a good way. And when when I just said step back and we're thinking about it, when I'm in a more calm situation, I realize that that's not a path that I have to follow,
Yeah.
because when you're angry, it's so easy to take the easiest path, because ah the bad decision is always easier and it can apply to actions, to words that I could use to say just because it's easy. But the song really talks about those kind of situation that you have to confront sometime and take a step back, rethink about it, and don't take this back, because sometime maybe later you're gonna regret it. So take a step back, and that maybe be the best choice that you can take.
Yeah, take a step back and look at yourself, because when you're at that point and anger and emotion, it does really bring out the worst in us. And you see
Yes.
it worldwide, where it's constantly bringing out the worst in us. Film clip, you've got in done a film clip for that. So you tell me a little bit about that. It was one of the ones where the band's usually in a warehouse, because most bands are in a warehouse where they can socially distance now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that how you done the film clip? Yeah, tell us a little bit about the film clip for this one.
For the music video.
Yeah.
That was kind of complicated for something, because as you can see in the music video, we're only 4, but in the band we're 5. Some people got asked me the question, and the answer is because of the COVID situation, because our bass player Emil was probably in contact with somebody that has contracted the virus, probably, but we didn't take chance. So he doesn't he can't come. So he had to miss the opportunity to be in the video, because he was probably in contact, and it will not be a possibility for us to shoot if he had if he had the COVID. So that's why he's not in the video, but he's still in the song. That's the only reason why he wasn't able to be in the video. And for the video, for those who don't know it, the whole setup around us with the chain, stuff like that, this is all us who build this by ourselves. It took us, I think, 2-3 hours to build with the chain. We bought chains, fish rope, I think, when you go to fish. We take a lot of things, and we just wrap it up around the columns, and it gives out a good visual effect, I think.
Yeah, it did give a good visual effect, and it would have been good to be able to get a film clip in, because a lot of bands haven't been able to do film clips, and when they do, it's like we've got 2 days or something, and regulations change that bloody quick as well. So it would have been great for you guys to get together, at least, even though you were one short, still have that film clip out.
Yeah, find spot to film was a bit hard, but at this day we managed to to do some good stuff and to find some place to shoot. So for right now, it has not be our biggest problem, but we still can manage it.
Yep. Can you say much about what you've got planned next after this one? Wait and see. Watch your start.
Like I said before, I don't want to spoil something.
No spoilers. I don't want any.
But you're gonna
watch your space.
Yeah, you're probably gonna be listen to my word. Probably gonna be hearing some stuff about us really soon, like sooner than you think. If I had to put it in a sentence, I'd say you're gonna hear about us really, really, really soon. That's one of the things I could say. And for in further future, we still have material that is still unreleased, and we're actually right now working on the newer stuff, like not the stuff that's still new, but the other newer, like the newer stuff that's gonna come out after this. So, like I said, quarantine hasn't been vacation for us. We work really hard, and we have a lot of material to share with the world. So we're pretty excited about that. We're pretty busy building all our marketing strategy or promotion stuff, and get to be known in the world, because right now we're still a small band. We're still people that just get to know us, so we still have a lot to prove.
Get the word out. Yeah, and you've got your website as well, Suicide for a King. I think it's just type that in, it'll come up with your website. Also up on Bandcamp's a good place to get along. Like, yes, you can go over and have a listen on Spotify. It's great to get some listens, but if you can buy some merch and support Suicide for a King, it's kind of the way to go. It's the way I go with things. I love buying shirts and merch, and man, this latest single, The Worst Nas, is a cracking single. So everyone get it, put it in your stereos, turn it up really loud because the neighbors are going to want to hear it as well. Jeremy, do you have any last words, shout outs, or thank yous you'd like to add in before we sign out, my friend?
Like I said before, I'm Jay from Suicide for a King. We got a lot of material that's coming out really, really soon. You probably don't want to miss it. We like to evolve a sound. If you like The Worst in Us, if you like Misconception, we're gonna give you some new stuff. Not the same that we did before, but we like evolving a song. If you're curious about this, you want to know more about it, subscribe to our channel, or Spotify or Facebook to be sure that you're gonna be the first one is going to listen to the newer stuff before everybody else. So Jay, thanks a lot for promoting me and receiving me. That's really, really amazing for your time. Thank you really much.
No, absolute pleasure, man. You have a lovely night, and thank you very much.